إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. يقول الله عز وجل فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. Allah has commanded us in the Quran, make the dhikr of me and remember me. And if you do that, I'll remember you. And give shukr for what I have done for you. And if you do that, you'll be rewarded. Give shukr for what I have given you and I've done for you, and don't make the kufran of the ni'mah. This tremendous ayat of the Quran shows us the importance of making the dhikr of Allah and the role that a dhikr plays in the life of the Muslim. It also shows the importance of giving shukr to Allah for all of the favors that He has bestowed upon us. وَإِن تَعُدُّ نِعْمَةُ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. As it relates to remember me and I'll remember you, it has multiple meanings. One of the meanings is remember Allah by obeying Allah, by worshiping Him, by praying, coming to the masjid, making halal halal and haram haram. Remember Allah when you have good health, and worship Him when you are doing well. Give sadaqah when you have money, not when you are poor. Give when you have money, and then when you need money, Allah will be there for you. That's the meaning of فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Remember Allah and Allah will remember you. So the Prophet used to teach the youngsters from the Muslims, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as every father and every mother should teach any youngster, any new Muslim, this lesson. Ya ghulam, ihfadillah yahfadk. Ihfadillah tajidhu tijahak. Ho your man, young man, remember Allah, and Allah will remember you. Remember Allah, and Allah will be in front of you. When you need Him, He'll be there for you. Don't be like the people who forgot about Allah. And then when they needed Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah left them, didn't answer their dua. So all of his life and all of his existence, he's doing ma'asi, and he's disobeying Allah, and he's being from those who are overwhelmed with ghafla and nisyan. And then he's confronted with a situation, and it's bound to happen. Someone goes to the hospital, someone is about to die, someone is about to give birth to a baby. He has to go to the job interview. He is muhtaj to Allah Azza wa Jal. No one can help him but Allah. And then he turns to Allah at that stage with sincerity because he really needs Allah. And he wants and he hopes that Allah will answer his dua. You didn't remember Allah prior to that, and now you come to Him. So I never call you. I never give you salams. I never ask about you. I never come to your house. I'm lost in action, missing in action, me. And then as soon as I have a problem, I show up at your door, knocking on your door saying, let me borrow some money. You're going to look at me and say, where have you been? My mother died. Where have you been? This happened to me. Where have you been? You come now? وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثْلُ الْأَعْلَى. The point here is, don't be of the people who, when you need Allah, that's when you want to do the right thing, when you're in need of Allah. So that's one of the meanings of فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Another tremendous meaning of it is what the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah said. قال الله تعالى أنا عند ظن عبدي بي وأنا معه إذا ذكرني إن ذكرني في نفسه ذكرته في نفسي وإن ذكرني في ملأ ذكرته في ملأ خير منه. I will be the way my slave thinks I am, and I will be with him if he remembers me. He has issues, he has problems, Allah will be with him. And if Allah is with you, there is no one who can defeat you. But if Allah is against you and he's not with you, then you're in trouble. So the hadith said, I will be the way my slave is with me. If he remembers me, I will be with him. And if he remembers me within his self, I will remember him within myself, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if I said, Allahu Akbar, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, Allahumma anta rabbi, and I made the dhikr of Allah like that, in myself, Allah ta'ala will remember me. And if he remembers me in any majlis, in any assembly, I will remember him in an assembly better than that. So here I'm making the dhikr of Allah. I'm reminding people here of the dhikr of Allah. Allah, inshallah, remembers me, and he mentions me in an assembly better than this. An assembly, inshallah, that could include Jibril. It could include Mikael. It could include Israfil. Allah knows best who is in that assembly from the Malaika. But does he only remember Abu Usamah because Abu Usamah is making the dhikr of Allah? No. The Prophet mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا كَانَ يَوْمُ الْجُمْعَةِ وَقَفَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ عَلَى أَبْوَابِ الْمَسَاجِدِ فَيَكْتُبُونَ الْأَوَّلَ فَالْأَوَّلِ. Every Friday at Jummah time, at the door of all of the masajid in the world, there are angels who are standing at that door. When people come to that door, those angels write their names down based upon who came here first. So the people who came here, and they were from the Sabiqeen al-Awwaleen, they were from the people who really got busy and they got here quickly. The Malaika will write down for those people that they have given a camel. And then the next group have given a baqarah, a cow. And then the next group, as if they have given to Allah Azza wa Jalla in sacrifice a ram. And then the next group, they have given like a chicken. And then the real slow people, but they made it, they will get the reward of giving an egg. And only Allah knows the ajr and the size and the qimma of that egg. Only Allah knows. Only Allah knows. فإذا خرج الإمام طووا صحفهم ويستمعون إلى الذكر. Once the imam comes out and says, Assalamu alaikum, those malaika, they close up those books that they were writing the people's names in, and they come and they sit down in the dhikr. So the angels of Allah Azza wa Jal, to get the barakah of the dhikr of Allah, they come and they mix with Bani Adam. And inside of Bani Adam are people who don't pray, people who make zina, people who drink khamr, people who lie, people who steal, people who are not practicing the religion, people who are ignorant, people who are making sins and mistakes day and night. Day and night. None of them are perfect. Not a single one of them are perfect. But because of the seriousness of the dhikr of Allah, those malaika take time out to come and listen. So it's the responsibility of the khatib and the imam to give the people something that is beneficial. Not to waste the people's time and waste the time of the malaika and start talking about things that make no sense and making the kadhib on Allah and His Messenger and calling to khurafat and shirk and bid'ah and calling the people to that what doesn't benefit him. It's the responsibility of the imam. Because in the belief in the malaika, you have to believe that they are here and they're present, listening to the dhikr of that individual. He mentioned in the famous hadith, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, There's not a group of people who come to the masjid and they read the Quran and they study the Quran, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Dhuhr, Asr, whether there's no one in the masjid. If those people come and they read the Quran and they start making the dhikr and studying the Quran, then Allah Ta'ala mentioned because of that dhikr, نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. Tremendous hadith. It's from the benefits of a dhikr. When people come to the masjid and they make the dhikr, what is the dhikr? The dhikr is reading the Quran. The dhikr is saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. A dhikr is giving da'wah Allah. A dhikr is saying Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on Friday especially. A dhikr is making a dua when you come into the masjid. A dhikr is when you eat saying Bismillah and saying the dua before and after, before having relationships, akramakumullah. But most of the people, when it comes to the dhikr of Allah, they are ghafirun. They don't know the dhikr. Someone wants to come to marry your waliya, your daughter, your sister. All you have to do, and you want to test them, is say, okay, this is not a test, but I just want to know the meda, the level of your commitment to your deen. I just want to know, are you worth your salt in al-Islam? And you just start asking them. The man wants to marry your daughter. You make mistakes, she make mistakes. We're not from the malaika, but we're not going to give our daughter to somebody who has no qima to him, no wazn in the deen. You ask him, what is the dua for waking up? What is the dua for going into the toilet? What is the dua for eating, for sleeping? What is the dua? The ayah said, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ وَاشْكُرُوا لِي وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ. Give shukr to Allah and don't make the kufran of the ni'mah. How do we make the shukr of Allah? By giving and making dhikr. Everybody here right now, his awrah is mastura. He has covered his awrah. Everybody here. Some of us have new clothes on. Some of us have not so new clothes on. Who upon wearing his clothes said, Alhamdulillah alladhi kasani hadha thawb wa razaqanihi min ghayri hawlin minni wala quwwatin? Who said that? Who ate breakfast or whatever and he made those du'as? Who saw someone who was maftoon? Someone like our Palestinian brothers and sisters, may Allah assist them, or anyone else walking down the street and he's majnoon, someone who is homeless, someone who has an issue, and he saw that and he looked at his own ni'mah and he said, Alhamdulillah alladhi athani mimma ibtalahu bihi wa faddalani ala kathiran min khalaqa tafdila. Most of the people are ghafirun. Fadhkuruni adhkurkum. I remember you if you remember me. I see in this masjid people who I know who are hustlers. They have their own businesses. I make the dhikr of Allah and I ask Allah to give you tawfiq in your business, to give you a ribh on top of a ribh, on top of the ribh, that you yourself become amazed. I make dua to you for that. But now the question is, as you have your own business, what are you doing concerning the dhikr of Allah? Do you not come to the masjid for Jummah? Do you not pray the 5 prayers in the day? Remember me and I'll remember you. Now there's no doubt, ikhwani, that Allah Ta'ala's name is Al-Mutakabbir. That's from his names. And anyone who competes with Allah in that characteristic will not go to Jannah until he is punished, purified, and cleaned up, unless Allah forgives him. You cannot compete with that as it relates to that characteristic of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah has knowledge, you have knowledge. Your knowledge is not like Allah, but you should get knowledge. Allah Azza wa Jalla is gentle, halim, and you're halim, but your hilm is not like Allah. as it relates to you see, Allah see. Your seeing is not like Allah, and on and on and on. There are characteristics that we have. Allah has those characteristics, but they're not the same. But there's one characteristic amongst a number. You cannot compete with him in that. And that is being arrogant and being a person who has a takabbur and istikbar. Meaning ayat. وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرِحًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ. Luqman told his son, do not walk around with your cheek up and your breast up. You're walking and you're very arrogant, looking down on people because you're an Arab and they're not an Arab. You got money more than him and he has less than you. You're this and so you exist. You're the imam. So you feel and think and believe that you're privileged and you're better than everybody. You are Allah's gift to creation, like the Yahud, especially the Zionists from them, who really believe that they are Allah's chosen people. They can go and just kill people and take their land. And then ask you, do you condemn this day, that day? So you can be an arrogant person, you can't. But at the same time, in not being arrogant, if you remember Allah, Allah will remember you with the malaika. That's a level of izzah for anybody who has common sense. I make mistakes, you make mistakes. We'll continue to make mistakes. We are muqassirun, muhmilun, ghafilun. And yet, if you make the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will remember you. So I say to the brother who talked to me right now, what is wrong with the human being, the Muslim, who his Lord remembers him and mentions him to the malaika, and he thinks that he's nothing. He wants to kill himself. He's nothing. He has no worth. Everyone is against him. So he wants to kill himself. I'm telling you, if Allah mentions you to the malaika, forget what the people say. Don't give a damn what people think about you. If Allah is with you and he's mentioning you with the malaika and within himself, فَكَفَى بِهِ نِعْمَةٍ. It's a tremendous ni'mah. So Ummat al-Islam, al-dhikr. What is dhikr? It's reading that Quran. It's reading Surah Al-Kahf today. It's bringing your kids to the Quran. It's coming to the classes. Al-dhikr al-Allah is ad-dawah ila-Allah. Al-dhikr is al-amr al-ma'ruf and al-nahy al-munkar. Al-dhikr is istighfar. Al-dhikr is saying to your wife, I love you. And saying to your father and your parents, I appreciate it. Jazakumullahu khairah. And al-dhikr is going to the people who run this masjid in your absence, providing for you an opportunity to come and make the dhikr where the malaika hear your name being mentioned. And you say to those people, may Allah reward you. Jazakumullahu khairah. But most of the people are ghafilun. I ask you by Allah, did you hear what Abu Darda, the tremendous companion who was a Zahid, said? May Allah be pleased with him. إِنَّ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ جَلَاءً وَإِنَّ جَلَاءَ الْقُلُوبِ ذِكْرُ اللَّهِ. Everything has something that will beautify it, give it life, give it oxygen, bring it to life, make the thing grow and sprout. Jala, it'll bring out the reality. Like plants, a beautiful plant. Everything has jala. It has that thing that will make it come to life. He said the thing that will cause the heart to come to life is the dhikr of Allah. And he was one of those people who used to make adhkar. You didn't cut off Abu Darda after the prayer because your kalam was not that important to him. Nor did he think he had to rush to go somewhere. He didn't think like that. The Prophet mentioned, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, مثل الذي يذكر ربه والذي لا يذكر ربه مثل الحي والميت. The similitude and the example of the one who makes the dhikr of Allah and the one who doesn't make the dhikr of Allah. وَكَثِيرٌ مَّهُمْ. The difference between the two is like the difference between the one who was alive and the one who was dead. I ask you people, whatever graveyard you know, go past that graveyard. Whatever dead people you know, I'm gonna ask you something. Are those people who are living like those people are dead? After the khutbah, inshallah, I could pick up my telephone, call my mother and tell my mother I love you. After the salah, inshallah, I can go with the brother and get something to eat. After this salah, I can make more prayers. I can read the Quran. From the dunya, I can make some kind of istimta of the dunya because I'm alive. Those people who are dead, they are finished. Done. Done. They're under that side of the Torah. Done. The one who was alive is not like the one who was dead. You're alive, Ya Abdullah. But you don't make dhikr. مَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ رَبُّهُ. The one who remembers his Lord and the one who doesn't is like the one who is alive and the one who is dead. And for this reason, especially you young brothers, you shabab, this is from why the Prophet told us, don't hang out with people who don't remember Allah. Especially kuffar. Especially kuffar. But even those non-practicing Muslims, that side chick will help you not to make dhikr of Allah. وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَى وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. Do not listen to, don't obey, don't hang out with, don't be friends with those people who Allah said we close their hearts to the dhikr of Allah and they follow their desires. Because in their situation, they've gone overboard. You're going to hang out with people who don't remind you of Allah when you're doing wrong. When you remember Allah, you do right. They don't encourage you to do more. Those are the people that we hang out with. Nah, you got to hang out with those people from the believers' heart, those who remember Allah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathiran wa sabbihuhu bukratan wa asila. Oh, you who believe, remember Allah. And remember Allah a lot, especially during the daytime, especially during the morning time when you walk, when you wake up. When you wake up. وَالذَّاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ أَعَدَّ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةً وَأَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. The believing men who remember Allah, the believing women who remember Allah, Allah has prepared for them a tremendous reward. The dhikr of Allah is light, man, it's light in our lives. Allah mentioned in the Quran, ayat upon ayat. يَوْمَ تَرَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يسعى نورهم بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم بشراكم اليوم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا. يوم القيامة, you're going to see the believing men and the believing women, and the light that they have will precede them going fast in front of them. Their bushra that day is, you people will be in the Jannah forever. And the Jannah is in it, this and that and this and that. Qatada, the Tabi'i, said, that nur comes from the dhikr of Allah that they find in front of them. That nur comes from the dhikr of Allah that they made in the dunya. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted to make dua, he would make dua and he would say, Allahumma ij'al fi qalbi nura, wa fi basri nura, wa fi sam'i nura, wa an yamini nuran, wa an yasari nura, وفوق نورا وتحت نورا وأمامي نورا وخلفي نورا اللهم اجعل لي نورا. Put light all around me. Light so I can see the devils, the real devils who are praying, pretending to be my friends. Light so that I can understand situations. Light so I'm divinely protected. You will see Yawm al-Qiyamah that their nur would go in front of them. He used to say that dua just to say it. He used to say a similar dua when he left the house. Bismillah tawakkalna ala Allah. And then he will make a dua similar to that. Sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Al-dhikr, al-dhikr, al-dhikr. From this adhan that we just heard is from the a'zam dhikr in al-Islam. From the sha'air of al-Islam. We hear it and all we have to do is repeat after him, and then Yawm al-Qiyamah we make a dua. The Rasul of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam will come and be a shafi' for you Yawm al-Qiyamah. But we don't know that dua. You want to marry my sister? You want to marry my daughter? Okay, brother, I don't care if you're a white boy. I don't care if you're a former Jew, you're a Muslim right now. I don't care if you're a Zionist. You want to marry my sister and you're a Muslim? Okay. What is the dua that you say after the adhan? He says, Wallahi, lastu adri. I don't know. And that's why we don't say it. Because the people are ghafilun. I'm not putting anybody down. The dhikr of Allah for everything. The Prophet mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Bashir المشائين إلى المساجد في الظلم بنور التام يوم القيامة. Give glad tidings to those people who walk to the masjid for Fajr, for Isha. Give them glad tidings that Yawm al-Qiyamah they're going to get nur, perfect nur. On the day Yawm al-Qiyamah, dhulm dhulumat. The oppression of the people is going to be a cause of darkness for people. And the darkness is going to be a part of the adab that you can't see. It's going to be a problem. But those people who walk to the masjid, especially for Fajr, those people made the dhikr of Allah. The dhikr of Allah, it is nur, nur. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي أستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى أن ينور لنا قلوبنا وأيامنا. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه وصلوات الله وسلامه على نبينا الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. From the most important dhikr is the dhikr of a dua and asking Allah Azza wa Jal for the things that we need. I know personally in this masjid that there are different people from amongst us who are really struggling with some of the tahaddiyat of living during this time, like the situation with our children. Some of our children are really, really struggling. The Prophet mentioned these kids, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he says some of these children, they cause you huzn, they cause you to be sad. They get sick, they have the fever, and you don't like to see that. They also cause you sadness because of their mu'amala, the way they're acting. No respect, no appreciation. It's not like it used to be before, 40 years ago, when you were young and you had haiba of your father, that respect, that if your father came in, it was just this natural thing that, yo, that's my father. Now, the Muslim father comes into the house or the room or the presence of his son or his daughter, and they hate him like the kirahiyatul maut. And they show him that they despise him and hate him. He said that these children, they cause you to be bakhil. You won't spend because of them, because you're greedy. You don't want to give to them. You want to make intiqam and pay their mothers back. They don't do right by you, you don't give them money. I'm not giving you anything because you're a problem. They make you bakhil. You have to spend, man. It used to be they made the companions or the people of the Salaf, the child made them bakhil in the Salaf, meaning what? Maybe the man wouldn't want to spend because he wants to spend on his child. Now it's the different bukhul. He doesn't want to spend because him and his mother, their mother doesn't get along. Or all he has is money. So with the money, he used that as a weapon against the child. He said that the child, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will make a man a coward. Juban. I'm going to get on this minbar and I'm not going to say the truth, because if I say the truth about my religion, like al-wala wal-bara, like calling these kuffar out for their hypocrisy and double standards, like saying whatever the truth is, whatever the truth, we're not down with LBG. We're not down with LB. We're not down with that. But I'm scared. If I say the truth, they may do something to me, lock me up, and then I won't see my children. There are people who have been judged to go to prison for 40 years, and they're dying in the sujoon of the Muslims. People are dying after being in prison for so long, just for saying the truth. Just for saying the truth. That's the sign of a man, inshallah. It's a sign of a man. So I just want to say, from the most important dhikr in al-Islam, and it is the weapon of the Muslim man, it's the weapon. You know, if I got up here with one of those Japanese Wu-Tang swords, you know what I'm talking about, one of them big Wu-Tang swords. If I got up here and I had one of those Japanese Camaros, you know what the Japanese, them dudes they be wearing. If I got up here and you saw that sword and I kept on hitting it like that, you'll say to yourself, man, I'm not going to come close to that cat with that sword. Chop me up with that sword. The dua is the weapon of the Muslim. That dua, more effective than that sword. More effective than that sword. So make the dua to Allah Azza wa Jal, to put between you and your family love, you and your wife love. Make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive us. Make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal with sincerity to help our people. Aina ma kanu. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from being from the ghafilin and the ghafilat. And may Allah Ta'ala make us from the dhakirin and the dhakirat. May Allah Azza wa Jal forgive us for our indiscretions and our shortcomings and our mistakes. Help us to realize that He is Al-Ghafur Al-Rahim, Al-Latif Al-Halim, and that He is Al-Afu, and He loves Al-Afu. We ask Allah Ta'ala with His Ism Al-Azam. The Ism Al-Azam, if you ask Him by that, He gives it to Him. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to put us close to Rasulullah Al-Nabi Al-Azim Al-Kareem Al-Amin in the Jannat Al-Firdaus without any adhab and without any hisab. And lastly, we ask and pray to Allah Ta'ala while we are in this dunya that He puts us upon the Sirat Al-Mustaqim that resembles what Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali and the rest of those companions were upon, Ridwanullahi alayhim. Today, inshallah, at 4 o'clock, we want to invite you, brothers. We have a guest who's going to come. He's going to talk today, inshallah, after 4 o'clock. Give us a dhikr, inshallah, linastami'a ilayhi wa ilayhi, his dhikr, and to him, and we invite you to come. And also, inshallah, after Salat al-Isha, we still have the Back to Basics class. So come to the Bayt of Allah Azza wa Jal to partake in the dhikr. Aqimus salah, yarhamakumullah.